and project-based. But I honestly couldn't deal with the adults at the school anymore. It's sort of the where I got to, which I know is true for a lot of other students and teachers. So I left my school, and after a little while, I heard from students reaching out to me. They were like, Miss D, you got to help us. Like, we're all about to fail our AP US history class. And so that was basically the beginning of Fiveable. From there, I just started streaming and helping kids out in the subjects I knew. And what I found was that there was just a big gap, especially after school, where I think a lot of kids are kind of fending for themselves. Some of the resources at school just don't cut it. So that's what we're doing. So our thing is about building community, making sure that you can connect with other students who are studying the same thing at the same time. We want to be able to get you the content that you need that's high quality and student friendly, easy to read. And then now we're starting to do courses so that you can connect with a teacher and get everything you need to know so that you'll pass the exam. Look at this, people are streaming in. Cool. So that's a little bit about the courses. This year, obviously is going to be a weird year with remote learning, and things are not feeling normal, of course, but we're going to try to kind of make the best of it and see what we can do in a remote setting and how we can make it so that it's much more inclusive and fun and interactive. So that's the whole thing behind courses and behind Fiveable. I am in Slack, and if you ever need anything, you have ideas or feedback or just someone to talk to, feel free to DM me. And for now, if you are not in a course yet, so many of you are probably already enrolled in this computer science course or in other Fiveable courses, but you can use the code OH10. And Aaron, maybe you can put the courses URL in the chat. If you use the code OH10, that will take $10 off. So if you want to share it with a friend, or you could use it for other courses, or for this one if you're not yet signed up for it, or for the spring too. So throughout the week, that course code will work. So with that, I'm super stoked for y'all. This is gonna be super fun. Aaron is our head engineer at Fiveable, so much of what you experience on Fiveable is built by Aaron. And so just to kick off the computer science open house, he'll introduce a little bit about himself and maybe his thoughts about computer science and studying it. And then we'll kick it off to Kwame, who will talk about the course this fall.
Perfect.
Take it away.
Thanks for the intro, Amanda. So as Amanda said, I'm our lead engineer here. So that means I usually spend my time behind the scenes. So this is one of those rare occasions where I get to be in front of the screen, and it's really awesome to be here because Comp Sci A is a class that I took in high school not too long ago, and I'm honestly super passionate about it. This is like the reason that I'm here today. Like, it kind of changed my life in a way. So the course itself is like about Java, but like it literally prepared me to like learn any language from then on. So like now I do web development, and in college I did computer architecture. And so it literally just changes the way you think and prepares you to explore anything in technology and engineering for that matter. And so I loved it a ton, and Kwame obviously does too, because otherwise he wouldn't be teaching it. So like Amanda said, also, I'll be hanging around Slack a lot. So if you ever have questions about, the website or being an engineer, working at a startup, anything around engineering whatsoever, I'm always down to talk, and you can hit me up in Slack or an email. So yeah, without further ado, Kwame, you want to tell us a little bit more about the course?
Sure. So hello, everyone. My name is Kwame Kwanzaa, and I will be the teacher for AP Computer Science A. So as many of you might know, or maybe you don't know, Computer Science A is fully Java-based. It used to be other languages, used to be C++ at some point, and now they switched it to Java. But it's not a difficult course to pass at all, to be very honest with you. In my school, we've had many students take the test and actually pass it year after year. So it's fun. It's you can create things that maybe you just imagine through programming. And there's a key skill that you learn. And as I go through the PowerPoint, I'll mention the key skill that will follow you. I'm going to share my slides here. And let me just present this. I hope you'll see my screen. Do you see my screen? Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, like I said, my name is Kwame. I kind of wrote it in Java to do a print-out statement. So cheesy, but and so I'm here in Dallas, specifically in Irving. I teach at Singley Academy, if you know about Singley Academy, and currently I teach computer science classes throughout, fundamentals, computer science 1, computer science 2. I used to teach video game design. I've taught web technology, ethics, computer programming. So it's always been my field since I started teaching. Some of my hobbies, I play lots of soccer, and I hang out a lot, but due to Corona, not been able to as much as I would love to. I'm also a PS4 guy, so I play a few online games here and then. I like to sleep a lot because why not? So I started teaching 3 years ago, and out of the 3 years, 2 years I've spent doing AP. And I've been teaching AP Computer Science Principles and Computer Science A, and so far it's been a marvelous experience. There's been changes to Computer Science A. I think 2019, last year there was a new change, so it's made it a bit, I would say, simplified. They've taken out some of the topics, but the new ones, the remaining ones, they're very crucial to know and understand. And I think it makes it even much more easier for you, the student, to be able to pass as well. When it comes to my experience with remote learning, I took most of my classes online. If you can tell from my accent, I wasn't born here. I was born in Ghana, West Africa, and I moved here a couple of years ago. So when I came in here, I went to college, but I decided to take my classes online. Like over 90% of my classes were online. So we used to canvas those online learning management systems. And now I also teach online because of coronavirus, but even prior to that, computer science classes, typically it's web-based. So I've learned to interact a lot with students online. And at the beginning, it can be a bit, nerve-wracking and here and there, but altogether, I think you get used to it. And once you get used to it, it's pretty smooth to go through. So then you might be wondering, what is it that you can expect from this course? So the goal is to take you through unit after unit, to give you explanations of every single detail that you can expect on the AP exam. You will get some kind of support on there. So whether it's a video, whether it's a practice assignment, something of that sort, you should get that support from here. You also have TAs to assist you. In case you have extra questions to ask, the TAs will always be there to support you. But at least for the first semester, you're going to be taking from the basics of programming, primitive data types, and at least, from my understanding, to arrays. So that's data structures. So the key concepts, you will get very good explanations on them, which you can take back to your schools or, to help you to pass the test if you're taking it independently. So you have 1 hour live sessions here with me. You also have resources from Fiveable. They have wonderful, wonderful resource study guides that you can go through. And you also have a team in the sense that it's not just you taking the exam. So I would really advise that you take advantage of the fact that you have other friends on here. And you can connect with them, ask them questions, and learn from each other. That way it helps. It's always good to learn together, especially when it comes to programming. you might be able to learn something from your friend. Maybe they might be able to explain something even much more better than perhaps I will be able to. So just a review of a week. And so for example, first week, we are looking at why should you program in Java? It's not a unit that is really tested on the AP exam. Unit 1, not so many questions come out of it, but it's so crucial that if you don't understand Unit 1, everything else will be very, very difficult. So the first unit, we're going to look at data types and variables, expressions and assignment statements, operators, casting. All of these will follow you throughout the entire course, which is why it's so crucial, even though there's very few questions that you might see from these sections. And as you can see, there are events and activities, a live stream. On there, you have discussion posts, you have office hours with the TAs, and then you have the outside resources and the Fiveable guys to also walk you through the course. So remember at the beginning, I told you of one key skill that I think you might get from this class. And this is something I typically tell my students. Um, a very important skill from programming is problem solving. There is not a single job that doesn't require you to have that skill. So as you go through this course, that's one thing you will find yourself developing, your problem solving skills. And the way you develop it is through practice, right? So you might face a question at the beginning, it might look easy. You can easily do it, but then the questions get difficult. The only way you can get through it is practice, 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 right? And I put on here, just 15 minutes of code a day is better than nothing at all. The little you do every day will add up. So that when May is here, when you stand for your AP exam, you have no worries at all, but you have to practice and sacrifice some time. If you are doing Fiveable or you have other classes in your public schools, that means that you have to manage your time properly. But and it's very important that you do so, especially when it comes to online, because if you don't, it becomes a lot on your shoulders to carry. So please try to manage your time. Put in small amounts of time here and there to practice what you learn, especially the coding. Do it every day as much as you can. And when you have questions, please let me know. Let the TS know so that we can assist you to pass the test. So I've been talking. You have any questions for me, please?
I have one.
Yes, please.
Is the 15 weeks allocated for the course like really enough to get a full understanding of Java?
Okay. So do I answer or do you answer?
You can answer.
Okay. So the 15 weeks, per my estimation, it takes you from primitives to arrays. Is it enough to know Java? It's enough to know, I would say, a good amount of Java, but it's not everything Java, because obviously there are more units afterwards, but it's a good enough, it's good enough information, and it's a lot of content for 15 weeks.
What I would also say is that this is also just the fall. And so if you're also taking it in school, that this is like a really, really good way to like see it and learn it a little bit for the first time and get good exposure to it. And you really can learn like pretty much the whole class in 15 weeks too. It's at the college level, it's designed to be taken in one semester. And so this is basically taking it in one semester. And so the other benefit is that it's not graded, and so if the pace is ever like a little too fast, like you don't have to get every single thing done. You could still ask questions a little late. You still have that supportive community there when you need it if you're in the course. Let's see, what we got some more questions. Differences between Comp Sci A and Comp Sci principles.
So Comp Sci A is, like I said, it's just Java. That's all it is. Java programming, but computer science principles, it's more of everything computer science. So it takes you from the basics of a computer, how the computer works, internet, networking, abstraction, just key concepts. There's no real programming language in computer science principles. It's just pseudocode. But computer science A is purely Java programming. I think that's the major difference in it.
I agree. And I would also add that a lot of the concepts they try to teach you through Java are more general to object-oriented programming, and that's a concept that's used in a ton of other languages. So once you learn Java, you can pretty much pick up like almost any other language with like very relative ease. So yeah. When are the classes? At what times?
Okay, so I don't think we've done it, but it will probably be around this time, Tuesday evenings. But I think they will let you know before next week, right?
Yep. And we'll also be releasing replays of every stream. So if you ever have a scheduling conflict, you'll be able to still catch up on the content on your own time.
Yeah, and an even further response to that is we're planning to release schedules for all of the courses live streams on Monday or Sunday this weekend, depending on when we get all of the data. And we're waiting this long to try really hard to make sure that there is little to no overlap in course times because we know a lot of people are taking multiple courses. So sorry for the wait, but we're just trying to do our best to make sure everybody got time for all their stuff.
Harrison, thank you. Harrison's super involved in our content team and helping plan out some of the scheduling for courses. So thank you so much for chiming in on that. As far as the AP exam, what kinds of concepts will make up the AP CSA multiple choice? I took CS principles last year, but didn't end up having multiple choice. That is an interesting question.
So from what I've seen, especially when it comes to multiple choice, almost every unit, you will find something on the from the multiple choice. It's when you come to the FRQ, it's when they specifically will ask you things about, I think they ask about arrays, classes, methods, and something else. I forgot. But for the multiple choice, you have every unit, at least you have a question from every unit show up on the multiple choice.
Mm. What platform will you be using to make Java code? Code.hs or something like that?
So at school, what I typically use is Replit. I don't know if you've ever used Replit. And I use it only because you don't have to download the IDE. It's easier for some students who have to use their own laptops and maybe they don't have enough space. But that's what I typically go for. But you can use any IDE that you prefer. It will still work the same.
Perfect. 2 questions. Are you also going to be teaching this class for the second semester? And I'm taking the course in the spring semester because of college apps right now. So what advice do you have for me to prepare this semester? Oops, I got that a little backwards.
Second semester, I hope so. Hope so. And I am taking this course in the spring because of right now. So what advice for me this semester? I don't think I understand. So you're taking it in spring, but you want to know what you can do now to prepare.
Yeah, that's so right now I'm independent studying it because we don't have it at our school. But what advice can you give me because the course isn't going to start till spring semester?
Okay, but you will still be taking this Fiveable course, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
next semester, not right now though.
Oh, next semester. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So there are resources online, right? Free resources out there that you can independently go through and prepare yourself for it. I mean, there are resources that go from the first unit to the very last units for the AP exam.
On Fiveable.
So independently, you can study, just work through the code and also watch YouTube videos on concepts. If you need independent practice, there are good teachers out there too, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely second that. AP Comp Sci A, for some reason, was the only class I've ever taken where I actually tried learning some of the material before the semester started, and it changed my life, like honestly, because then when you learn everything in class, like you're kind of learning it for the second time, which makes it like insanely easier. And it was like so relaxed when I was learning it on my own time beforehand, and so I only did like a little bit of work on it beforehand, and it paid off like exponentially. So any amount of like reading about it and watching videos on Fiveable. We actually added Comp Sci this year, so all of our content on it is brand new, brand spanking new for this year's AP exam. And yeah, just any kind of exposure you can get to it will help.
Thank you.
No problem.
Mhm.
Let's see what other questions. How much course load can anyone expect for the course? Just a general idea. Oop, and I missed one from Pravalika, so we'll come back to that.
So how much course load? As in like assignments?
Yeah,
Or
like how much work will it be every week? Maybe in like a number of hours or something you can expect.
um, I would say that as we go through the units, it will become more and more like you will need to probably spend more hours on it. And that also depends on your level of understanding. The first few units are pretty easy. It's when we get to the data structures, you might be spending maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, but it really depends on your level of understanding. I couldn't make a specific statement on it, to tell you the truth.
I agree with that. And I would also add that again, it's not graded like most normal classes are. And so it's really one of those things where it is kind of what you make of it. So you can put as much time in as you want or as little as you want, and you'll succeed either way, you know. Uh, Next question. What if I'm taking comp sci first before comp sci principles? Should I still take APCS principles? Will comp sci A still help me? Good question.
So, Comp Sci A, it will help you because some of the concepts in there are used in computer science principles, because computer science principles, again, it has programming in there, but the difference is it's not Java. It's just pseudocode, but it's still the same programming concepts. So yes, it will help you. And yes, I would say that you take computer science principles. It's easier than computer science A, but the concept, you can use it, you can transfer the concepts either way from one to the other.
Cool. And I think that's all the questions that we have for now. Does anyone else have any other questions before I say one last thing and then ask you guys a question?
I think someone has a question.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah, are there going to be any websites where we can learn or practice? Yeah, we have guides out here for you. We have resources, stuff like that for you. So you will have places to practice and learn your code, if that's what you're asking.
Definitely. Cool. So, on that note, I want to give like one quick spiel about comp sci. So, I have tutored for, I'm not a teacher for comp sci, right? But I've tutored it since I was in high school and then throughout college and then a little after. And so, for like almost a decade, and one of the biggest things that I've seen like that like holds that like gets people stuck is comp sci is like very, very unique in that if you're trying to code and you get stuck on something, it's not always clear why your code isn't working or why it's not running. And so one of the biggest points of frustration for people is like that moment when you're stuck and you don't know how to get unstuck. And so one of the coolest things about courses is that like not only are we teaching you the material and helping you so that doesn't ever happen, but we're also giving you like a support community that you can rely on to help each other with too. So I just thought I'd add that to it. And on that note, I also want to ask you guys a question. If anyone wants to drop in the chat, like, why are you guys interested in taking comp sci? Do you want to just be prepared for, most jobs in the future might need to know how to code, or do you have an app idea or something like that? And also, if you've ever coded before, like, drop that in the chat too. I'm super curious. Cool. Comp sci hopefully going into AI. Self-studying all your AP. Cool, cool. Nice. Coding Olympiad. Wow. Interesting. It makes me feel smart. I'm not gonna lie. That's when people see you like coding and it just looks like a foreign language, it's a thrill. Majoring in comp sci to be a game developer. It's so cool. Sometimes I forget about all the different applications. There's AI, machine learning. Hackathons are cool too. Kwame, have you ever done a hackathon?
So I've participated in coding competition. I typically do Code Quest. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Code Quest. It's done by this defense company, Lockheed
Oh
Martin.
yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they typically have a coding contest that I typically go with my school. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, hackathons are really cool. Maybe we could throw one in at the end of the semester or something. I mean, by the time this course ends, you guys will actually know how to make stuff. That's the coolest thing about this course. Sophomore, I took interest CS last year. Cool. Could I ask what the right age to take comp sci is? My class is the full range of sophomores to seniors. Oh, Kwame.
Is
Is
there
there
a
a
right
right
age?
age? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. You just have to be willing to do it.
I've seen elementary school kids learning how to code, and
Yeah.
comp sci is no different. Like it's just because it's an AP course and you get college credit doesn't mean that you have to be a certain age to learn it.
When you come out of the womb.
Yeah. I agree with that. Scratch at MIT. Wow, that's cool. Scratch is a great place to get started.
It is true.
Yeah, it's like, so who is it that said that they use Scratch? I just lost it. Benjamin, do you feel like Scratch is like, have you tried coding anything beyond Scratch? Because I really firmly believe that like learning the logic behind programming really does help you beyond that.
Don't mess up your life.
Really? What was that? Oh, Samad? Oh, lost him. Definitely. There you have it. Scratch helps. So that's cool, you guys. I'm super excited for this course to start. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments, concerns, ideas? Did HTML and CSS, but don't know how that will connect that much. That's a good point. Not quite a question, but I do agree. HTML and CSS are more like markup and styling things, and they don't help you a lot with like the logical parts of programming. Once you get to JavaScript, then it's more like programming. HTML and CSS is fun, no lie. I agree. Making things pretty. And like, yeah, I mean, 90% of websites is like HTML and CSS, It wouldn't look like anything if you didn't have it.
True.
Can you please go over what exactly we need to do on the actual AP exam?
Like, what do you like? If you can be just a little bit clear.
Maybe they're curious what first format, I think. Yeah, maybe
The
like
format
what,
of the test.
yeah.
So it's multiple choice. You have I think 40 multiple choice questions. And I don't know, it's multiple choice. I really don't know
Yeah.
what to say.
Yeah, if I remember from when I took it, like there were a lot of questions where they like ask you to predict the output and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things like that. I don't think they have projects as part of your grade anymore. That's more comp sci principles, right?
Right. So you have your 40 multiple choice. Like you said, it's more predict the outputs. And I have seen portions that you have to replace the code or like fill in the code. Questions too, I've seen a few of those. And then the 4 FRQs that they give you, but the good thing is that you specifically know what topics to prepare for the FRQ. So that's really good. So you can really master them properly the way you want to.
Yeah. The other thing I'd say about the format is that what the format is now, we're kind of crossing our fingers that it's going to stay whatever they say it is now. Obviously, that wasn't how it ended up being last year, but I think we're better prepared this year to know in advance how we'll handle the exams if they have to be remote, Hopefully not. Cool.
So, fun fact, yesterday the College Board actually had a press release and they said that the exams are going to be full content, full format this year, but there will be options based on your school's mode. So if you're in person or virtual, there will be a way for a virtual exam that's not going to be the same as last year. And there will be a format for an in-person exam.
Wow, I did not know that. Thank you, Harrison.
Yeah, Trevor Packer kind of tweeted it subtly yesterday, so kind of how you get all your AP news.
Gotta get me a Twitter. Will there be cram sessions before AP exams this year? Yes. 100%. And we'll actually be having more cram sessions throughout the year this year, if I'm not mistaken. Harrison, can you verify that?
We will be having cram sessions, and we're currently deciding whether or not to build those into the course or not, but we're also having unit crams that anybody can purchase and get access to even without the course.
Perfect. That's what I thought. So cool. I'm still so excited. Comp Sci is so cool. You are all about to have your whole worlds changed. It's so cool. You don't even know what's coming. So, ready to program some Roombas. Seriously, you could do that. What would you make your Roomba do if you programmed it? Walk your dog. Clean. That'd be a pretty easy way to get something to clean up after it.
Take over the world.
You're gonna need a lot of Roombas to take over the world. Sorry to break it to you.
Thanks, Elon Musk.
That's why I code. Wanted to make the Roomba revolution. It's got a nice ring to it. Roomba revolution. All right. Anyone else have any? Yeah, I know, right? Alliteration. Anyone else have any other ideas of what they would program if they knew how to program like an expert? Vibranium. Can't say I know what that is. I hope it's appropriate. Arduino stuff. Study bot. Black Panther Aaron. Whoa. Two people said Black Panther right next to each other.
Vibranium is an element from the movie Black Panther.
Now I get it.
Like what makes the special. You need to watch it.
I know. I've barely seen any Marvel movies. I feel so guilty about it. Kwame, you watch Marvel movies?
I didn't even know what that was either.
Most valuable metal in the Marvel universe. All right, cool. I'm glad that I admitted that I didn't know it because now you all explained it to me. If I just pretended I knew it, I would have never known. I've adamantly believed that it's better to be embarrassed about not knowing things than it is to go on not knowing things, especially in programming. If you pretend you know things and you don't, someone will find out, something's not going to work when it needs to. Yeah, especially if you're working in the automotive industry too. It's just, there's a lot of different areas in programming where, the way that things go is different because safety is a concern. Things need to be done with 10 times more checks and balances, It's crazy how the industry changes it. We're all the Marvel fans. Oh, I have another question. Anyone in here interested in hardware, or are you guys mostly interested in like software? Software, hardware, robotics, software, hardware. Interesting. Cool. Study about hardware. Ooh, cool, Christian. I was in a similar boat. I studied hardware, but then I ended up doing software. I get a lot of gratification from knowing how things work under the hood. Kwame, have you worked with hardware much or mostly software?
Well, before I got into teaching, I used to fix computers, like the hardware stuff for a school district.
Oh, cool.
I did that for about a year and a half or so. So I've done some hardware.
I think it's so much harder to troubleshoot hardware problems than it is to troubleshoot software problems, not gonna lie.
Because it could be a bunch of things, and
A million things.
yeah, if you're not really the hands-on guy too, it's really it's just too much.
Yeah, there could be like a part broken like all the way deep inside, and it's just like you're not gonna know it.
Tiny screws.
Yeah, tiny screws. That's cool. So we got a good mix in here. Okay, what is FRC? Is that a location or something? I'm gonna feel dumb when I find out what that is.
I hope it's nothing Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Robotics League. Got it. Cool, cool, cool. Robotics is super cool. Fun fact, I actually taught at a robotics summer program last year, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I don't know. What's time now?
nice.
Yeah. Computers are cool. Computers are cool. Man of man.
It's crazy. I've never taught robotics, but I had to take a test on it for the teaching test. They ask you lots of robotics questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. To teach computer science. Well, I mean, I guess it's all related, but they ask you questions about them a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess they want to make sure that if anyone's curious, you can point them in the right direction.
Right.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
PS4 gamer, what's your favorite game, Kwame?
FIFA.
FIFA? Nice. I used to play so much FIFA.
FIFA is the best.
If you could please review the content amidst the AP Computer Science A course. So I think we went over that already, and we have a schedule of that actually posted online. I'll link to the page. Kwame, just to make sure, when you see that question about going over the content, does it seem like they want to go over like that little calendar that we had?
I don't know if they want if it's the units that they want an explanation of, or the calendar.
Everything you need during the course. Yeah, we're not teaching it tonight. Not unless you want to be up real late. Visual Basic, you need Microsoft. You need a specific computer to code certain languages or something. That's a great question. Specific computers can make it easier, but like for the sake of this course though, like Java is super, super universal. And everything that you do can be done in REPL, like Kwame said. Sorry, I should have let you take that, Kwame.
That's
I
fine.
get too excited over Comp Sci, you know?
That's fine. I mean, what you said is true. You don't. Any computer, or almost every computer, can really do the job. You just need to find the ID that you need, and you're good.
Yeah, I would actually say that you need a computer from at least the year 2000. Anything before that is probably not powerful enough, to be honest. Anyone here using a computer from the 90s, 80s?
Oh Lord, no.
I would be amazed if you could run Zoom on one of those things. Oh, we got someone on a typewriter in here tonight. That's awesome. Tell me how you did that. Robotics, probably. One from 1999 that I use from time to time just to play Minesweeper, probably. And Solitaire. All right. Wow. We've got a bunch of people with like good senses of humor in here and a lot of creativity. I'm really excited. I hope that you guys are all taking the course.
It's gonna be a fun class.
Seriously, Kwame, I'm jealous. I want to do this. Let me in. Can I make cameos?
Perhaps.
All right, fingers crossed. Thank you, Harrison. That is correct. You guys should use that code. I don't know how much longer that code is going to be valid for. Courses up until. I'm not the TA, unfortunately, but I might make some appearances. Maybe we'll see.
You should.
I'm actually not sure who the TA is. Do we know that? Oh, oops. Sorry about that. Tejas, I didn't mean to sell you short there. Tejas is an awesome part of our team. He's been here for pretty much as long as I have. He's the TA. Tejas, do you wanna come in here and say a word? You don't have to. He's on his typewriter. It might be kind of hard. But yeah, Tejas is super awesome. He's really nice and brilliant. He's been here, like again, like I just said, as long as I have. So I trust that you guys will all be in great hands. So cool. Well, anyway, I think that about sums it up for the night. Does anyone else have any last closing remarks? Like last ones, not about Roombas or Validium or Verinium. How do you pronounce it again? What is it? Viranium?
Yeah.
Vibranium.
Brain.
Branium makes sense, like the brain.
She broke it down.
The brain I'm missing.
Broke it down.
Yeah, they broke it down. Vibranium. Give me the link to the mesmerizing content amidst the profound course. You have such a way with words, Samad, or Samad. Yeah. I look forward to fulfilling. Awesome. You guys are all great. Thank you for being so polite and enthusiastic about learning.
It's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be really fun. Trust me.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Kwame, thank you so much for letting me be in here tonight for this. Harrison, thank you for all your help. Tejas, thank you for being the TA for this course. I know you're going to do a stellar job. And God, we've got such a stellar team on the Comp Sci team. Like, I'm so hyped about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in Slack probably. Kwame?
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you, and I can't wait to start with you. I think next week we're gonna start. So come.
Yeah.
Let's
Cool.
rock this.